You don't have the fate of a rich family's daughter, so don't put on airs like one. All you do is cry. Do you think your husband is dead? Or that I am? I'm just asking you to hand over his silver to me. Do you think I'm trying to pocket that bit of silver for myself?
When old Mrs. Yao saw her third son's wife, Yin Sunyang, start crying again, she got so furious that she dragged over a stool, sat down at the courtyard gate, and started cursing. The old lady was in her 40s or 50s, with a sharp, monkey-like face, her lips flapping non-stop, her curses never repeating.
I'm doing this for the good of your third household. Look at him. He is already 20, and not even a son to show for it. If we don't save some silver now, what will you use to raise one later?
The moment she saw this third daughter-in-law, she felt a wave of bad luck. Pretty as she is, but so delicate, all she does is whimper. Useless at any real work. The folks from the first and second houses saw the commotion starting up again, but didn't bother to come out and intervene, just peeking through their windows from their own rooms.
Still crying! She responded. Hiding in there. Do you think that keeps you safe from me?
Old Mrs. Yao's temper flared even higher. As soon as she said that, the low sobbing from inside the room abruptly ceased. Moments later, a petite woman with a delicate, pretty face emerged from the room. Yin Sunyang, just seeing her mother-in-law, reacted as if facing a fierce tiger.
Terrified.
Mother?
What are you crying for? Cry again, and see if I don't yank every hair out of your head. Anyone who didn't know better would think I was the one tormenting you.
With that, old Mrs. Yao eyed her up and down.
Where is the silver?
Mother, the silver. I truly don't know where it is hidden.
The moment I heard Yin Sunyang say she didn't know, old Mrs. Yao shot up from her stool, looking like she was about to devour her alive.
I don't know. You don't know. Who knows how many days that cursed star's been up on the mountain, and you've been holed up in the house for just as long. When I tell you to hand over the silver, you claim you don't know. Do you think that because you've skimmed a few tattered books, you can toy with me and have me spinning in circles? I have you know.
Old Mrs. Yao suddenly leaped right up to Yin Sunyang, grabbing her by the collar and striding straight into the third house's room.
Hand it over!
Yin Sunyang had already been sobbing for half the day, barely able to catch her breath. And now, with this yank, she crumpled to her knees on the spot.
Playing dead, are we? I've warned you. Today, no matter what, you're coughing up that silver for me. Not a single tile short. What kind of nonsense is this? You think you can pull tricks on me?
From the big house and second house, they peered through the windows, watching the third house's woman get dragged inside. And before long, a loud bang echoed from within. Then, dead silence fell. After a long while, the old lady's voice finally broke through.
Someone, quick! Someone! This little wretch seems to have stopped breathing.
She is gone! From across the courtyard, the big house and second house women exchanged a glance and immediately slammed their windows shut, hurrying out into the yard.
Mother, what has happened?
Hua Shi from the big house looked utterly flustered, while Wen from the second house looked grim, wondering where to even begin.
Mother.
Surely the third sister-in-law hasn't fainted again. Last time she passed out, the family shelled out 7 or 8 tiles for ginseng to save her life. And now this happens again. I'm saying it now. Our second house has no money to call a doctor for her.
Wen hadn't even finished speaking when the old lady shot her a glare.
If you can't talk sense, shut that foul mouth of yours and go fetch the doctor. Now, if this little wretch has truly kicked the bucket, we're all done for.
Just as the three schemed with their hidden motives, the figure sprawled on the ground suddenly spoke up.
Who the hell made me slam into that wall? It hurts like hell.
Yin Susu rubbed her forehead before she could even scramble to her feet and spotted 3 hag-like specters staring her down. She figured she must be hallucinating. Otherwise, how could she be seeing 3 ghouls decked out in ancient robes?
No way. Those aren't ghosts. My head's pounding like mad. This is real. I've time-traveled.
Old Mrs. Yao had thought she'd run him down dead. But now, catching him eyeing her so brazenly, all that former worry and fear boiled over into boundless rage.
Well, you little wretch.
You actually had the nerve to scare me.
Fine, then. You I see your wings are getting stiffer by the day, huh? Today, I won't let you learn the Yao family rules.
Or else, I'll take your damn name.
Seeing the old hag cursing up a storm and itching to lay hands on her, Yin Susu sprang up from the ground in a flash. And by the time the old lady lunged over, she'd dodged aside once more. Where had old Mrs. Yao ever seen Yin Susu so nimble? She'd never imagined her own third daughter-in-law, always quail-timid as a mouse, would dare evade her grasp, let alone her. Even Hua Shi jumped in shock. How had this woman turned into someone else entirely? Before they could even make sense of it, Yin Susu had already struck back. She narrowed her eyes, then fixed her gaze dead on old Mrs. Yao, who was about to strike her.
Little wretch. Don't you know how to speak with a shred of respect?
Don't think just cause you're old, you can run roughshod over everyone. You're nothing but a bully leaning on your age. Got that?
You little wretch. How dare you sass me like this? You've gone and turned the world upside down.
Old Mrs. Yao froze for a split second at the insult. Then, that fury ignited from her crown to her toes, dying to rip Yin Susu to shreds right then and there. Seeing her mother-in-law seething with rage, Hua Shi rushed forward to steady her.
Oh, Mother.
Don't get so worked up yet. Third sister-in-law might just be out of her mind for the moment. And besides, she was raised as a pampered young lady from a wealthy family. Spoiled, rotten from the cradle. I don't even know these damn country customs.
Don't you go defending him. What kind of low-life breed is he? I know it all too well in my heart.
Old Mrs. Yao shot Yin Susu a fierce glare.
She just banks on the third son taking a shine to her. That is why she gives me the cold shoulder day after day. Oh, heavens above. What sins have I committed? To let this little slut worm her way into the Yao family door.
Third sister-in-law.
What are you standing there for?
Hurry up and apologize to Mother. Then we can put this behind us.
Mrs. Wen also sensed that her third sister-in-law was somehow different now. But just what was different about her? She couldn't quite put her finger on it right then. One look at the big lump on Yin Sunyang's head, and she was already fretting over the cost of the medicine. That pampered little wench. So fragile and weak, but on her lips, she still spouted the sweet words.
That is right. Third sister-in-law. Mother's just looking out for the good of your third branch. Scolding her like that. That is downright unfilial. You wretch.
Don't think, just because old third sides with you, you can run wild and lawless.
Old Mrs. Yao saw she wasn't paying her any mind, and her anger only burned hotter. She snatched up the stool by her feet and hurled it straight at Yin Susu. At least Yin Susu, with her years of taekwondo training, or rather, Yin Sunyang, as she is known, saw the stool flying her way and deftly dodged aside. But Wen Shi, standing right beside her, had no such agility, and her foot took the full brunt of the blow. Back at her parents' home, Wen Shi had always been a hot-tempered, unreasonable spitfire. Now, catching this undeserved hit, she didn't dare blame old Mrs. Yao, but unleashed all her fury on Yin Sunyang instead.
Third sister-in-law, what do you think you're doing? I was just about to speak up for you. And now you're turning on me like this.
When she toiled in the fields year-round, building up mighty strong hands, no sooner had she spoken than she swung to slap Poppy Lady across the face. But how could Yin Sunyang just stand there like a fool and take it? As when she raised her hand, Yin Sunyang had already gripped her wrist tight. Though the original body's frame was somewhat frail, she knew how to use leverage just right. So no matter how many times when she tried to wrench free, she couldn't.
Girl, if you don't let go right now, I'll make you regret it.
Mother.
Just look at her. I told you she is playing the pig to eat the tiger. Old Third's completely bewitched by this little vixen. He hangs on her every word day in and day out. She's the one who must have hidden that money. I won't let him sweet-talk me into it.
Old Mrs. Yao never imagined Yin Sunyang would ever dare to be this bold. But now, seeing her gripping Wen's hand so tightly, he finally lashed out. Yin Sunyang saw him raising his hand to strike her, so she flung Wen's hand aside.
Are you all refusing to talk sense now? I've told you already, no money. Are you all deaf?
No money? Upon hearing this, Hua covered her mouth and let out a chuckle, sneering sarcastically.
Oh my. A tiger like that would fetch at least 30 taels of silver. Yet you only turned over one tael to the family. with at least 29 tails still missing. And now you're claiming you have no money.
Huaxi isn't someone to be trifled with, and she is no exception to that rule. She despised Yin Sunyang right from the start, not just because Yin Sunyang was young and beautiful, but also because she was the favorite. Ever since she married into the family, the third son had been utterly devoted to her. For her sake, a man who never clashed openly with his mother or father had even stirred up a few arguments, while her own husband, day in and day out, did nothing but eat, drink, whore, and gamble, only adding to her burdens, and was useless at everything else. Every time she thought of folks outside, saying she had it worse than him, Huaxi would grind her teeth in rage. Today's mess was all because of the poison she whispered in the old lady's ear. Seeing the old lady was already fuming, she quickly fanned the flames even higher.
Mother, don't let our third brother's wife's pitiful act fool you. Back then, all she did was whine and whimper. But look now, she can't hide it anymore today. Her true colors are showing. Our third brother is a crack shot at hunting. The best in these 10 miles and 8 villages. So how could his silver run short? Yet he hands over just 1 tael to you each month. So where do you suppose the rest has gone?
With that, she smugly arched her brow at Yin Sunyang.
Since you're not dying just yet, then I won't hold back. I'm not doing well, so you shouldn't dream of it either. Thinking you can stash silver on the sly. I'll make sure you don't keep a single copper.
Just in time, that good-for-nothing Yao Lao Da has racked up gambling debts outside. Once the old lady finds that silver, she'll play the poverty card. Seeing as the Bao is the Yao family's only grandson, she'll have to give a little for appearance's sake. Old Mrs. Yao was already fuming, and now, hearing this, her eyes turned red with rage. She shot Yin Sunyang a fierce glare, then snapped,
Third daughter-in-law, don't play dumb with me. Where on earth is that silver?
I've told you, I don't have that silver.
Yin Sunyang was at the end of her rope, utterly fed up with this unreasonable trio of mother-in-law and daughters-in-law.
Just because they say it is there, does that make it true? I say it is not, so why won't you believe me? The silver from selling that tiger. Do they think a tiger's just some kitten or pup? You don't just go and hunt one like, it is nothing. And Xiaoxu sure isn't Wusang. There is none?
Mrs. Hua let out a cold sneer.
If there is no silver, then why is everyone saying there is? It can't all be made up, can it? Look, third sister-in-law, you'd better be sensible and hand it over quick.
Exactly. Those 30 tiles of silver aren't just 30 coppers, you know. Third sister-in-law, you clearly don't know how to run a household. And if those 30 tiles go missing, that is a grave stain on your head.
Mrs. Wen piled on, practically itching for Yin Sunyang to cough up those so-called 30 taels right then and there. It was because the eldest house already had a son, while she'd only borne 2 girls so far, that all the good stuff always got snatched by the eldest house. But things were different now. The baby in her belly was already 4 months along, and the doctor had assured her this one was definitely a boy. If those 30 taels ended up in the family coffer, to say the least, she could finagle at least 10 taels for herself. Just thinking about that silver landing in her hands by tonight, at the latest, had Mrs. Wen's lips curving into a smile.
Third son's wife, don't try to squirm out of this with me. Hand over that silver right now, or I'll give you a good spanking.
Instigated by her 2 daughters-in-law, old Mrs. Yao became convinced that those 30 taels of silver were hidden by Yin Sunyang herself. Though, the third son never much cared for her before. He still handed over the silver when it was due. But ever since he married this little wretch, they've only been turning over 1 tael a month. Not a single extra copper. With that thought, she charged forward, intent on searching her. Seeing the old hag lunging at her clothes again, Yin Sunyang shoved her flat on her back. The old lady froze for a split second, then scrambled up from the ground in a flash, grabbing Yin Sunyang's hair and yanking it viciously.
Eldest daughter-in-law, don't just stand there gawking. Get in there and hit her. This little hussy's gone too far, daring to lay hands on me. If I don't beat her senseless today, I've lived all these years for nothing.
Beat Yin Sunyang. Huaxi perked up at that, her eyes gleaming with delight. She jumped right in with glee.
Coming through, mother.
What she loathed most was Yin Sunyang's face, so every swing she took was aimed straight at it. When she itched to join the fray too, but thoughts of the child in her belly made her shrink back a few steps in silence. Though she'd trained in taekwondo in her past life, this original body's frailty was no joke. Those few dodges earlier had already left Yin Sunyang winded. And now, with the old hack yanking her hair and Huashi pummeling her face, she was truly struggling to hold her own. Luckily, she could still evade. After one quick dodge, two piercing screams echoed through the Yao family courtyard.
Oh, Mother! You've yanked my hair!
Ouch! How is the daughter-in-law? Are you trying to gouge out my eyes?
A whole clump of Huashi's hair got yanked right out. How could that not hurt? But seeing it was her own mother-in-law who'd struck first, she didn't dare hurl any more curses.
Third sister-in-law, you've schemed every trick in the book, and even got me to strike Mother. Fine then. So you're not just a sly little vixen, but a crafty plotter too. If I don't claw that face of yours to shreds, then I'll take your surname, Xiao. You think you can scratch out my face? In your dreams.
As he lunged forward, Yin Sunyang kicked him hard in the gut, sending him staggering back several steps.
So, Laughing Sword, Taizi dares to strike back, does he?
Very well.
Today, you'll learn the full force of the Yao family's discipline.
When old Mrs. Yao saw Yin Sunyang fighting back, she was itching to hack her to pieces with a single stroke.
Eldest daughter-in-law, go fetch a stick.
Fetch a stick! The moment Jin Sunyang heard them gearing up for weapons, she scanned the courtyard around her and grabbed a bamboo, drying pole as her weapon.
Stay back, all of you. Anyone who lands a hit on me, Yin Sunyang will return it threefold. We'll see about that. Go ahead and try.
Seeing her like this, old Mrs. Yao immediately ordered Huashi to snatch the bamboo pole away.
I'll go.
Remembering that kick she'd taken moments ago, Huashi still felt a lingering chill of fear. Seeing her hesitate to advance, old Mrs. Yao shot Huashi a fierce glare.
If not you, then am I supposed to go myself? Have I lost my hold over you?
No, it is not that!
Ouch, Mother.
I'm no flower master!
I just don't want to charge in. But under the old lady's glare, she had no choice left, and had to steel herself and step forward, gripping one end of the bamboo pole. Huashi snarled viciously. You Yin Su Miao.
Can't you just behave yourself? If only you'd handed over the silver from the start. Then we wouldn't have all this damn trouble.
Silver. What silver? There is not a scrap of it, let alone if there isn't any. Even if there were, I sure as hell wouldn't hand it over to you greedy wretches. All day long, it is nothing but silver on your minds.
Have you ever spared a thought for us?
You're just trying to pull the wool over your old lady's eyes. You said there was. Well, there ain't. Let's see how long you can keep this up.
Stop it! What kind of spectacle is this?
The moment the men of the Yao household stepped through the door, they saw the womenfolk in a full-blown uproar. The elder yanking the younger by the hair, the younger unleashing a torrent of abuse. It is downright scandalous. In the main hall, Yin Susu knelt on the floor, taking the brunt of the tirade.
Old man, I've told you time and again, the third son's wife is trouble. But you wouldn't listen. Now you've witnessed it firsthand. While you lot were all away, she's been strutting over me like she owns the place, shitting and pissing right on my head. First, playing dead to give me a fright. Then cursing and striking me. A daughter-in-law assaulting and abusing her mother-in-law. A daughter-in-law this ferocious. I simply can't cope with her anymore.
With her husband and both sons now home, old Mrs. Yao lets it all pour out. Whatever grievance she has, she airs it without restraint. Even a trifle gets spun into a lengthy complaint, always at Yin Susu's expense.
And this is even with you back. Had you not returned, you as 3 mother-in-law and daughters-in-law might well have been beaten to death by her. Just look. My hair's all pulled out by her clutches.
The old master glances over, seeing his bedraggled wife's hair in a wild tangle like a bird's nest, and in a flash of rage, he slams the table.
Third son's wife, what in heaven's name is going on? Have you gone mad? Daring to strike your elders?
Even just hearing that old crone's ravings, Yin Susu feels an urge to roll her eyes, were it not for their numbers overwhelming her at this moment, with her utterly alone on her side. And this original body's frailty, as scrawny as a fledgling chick, she'd have lost her temper by now.
I'm asking you a question. Why are you lost in the clouds?
Old Mrs. Yao sees her staring vacantly into the distance, giving no reply whatsoever, and her ire surges once more.
What did you say?
Yin Susu retorts.
I ask you, where did O3 stash the silver? We haven't split the family yet. All the family's silver has to go into the common pot. Don't you know that?
The old lady fumed. The old master took a long drag on his pipe and added his voice.
Third daughter-in-law, you're clearly in the wrong here. Mother's only looking out for the good of your household. Hand over that silver at once, before O3 squanders every last bit of it.
Silver, tails. Jinsu Niang rolled her eyes.
It is the silver from killing that tiger.
It is not that silver. Or are you hiding some other silver behind my back?
Old Mrs. Yang shot him a glare.
Where would I know where that silver is? Everyone says he killed the tiger and sold it for money, but I don't have a single copper coin in my hand.
That is the truth. Ever since the original owner married into the family, she has always been penniless, with a timid nature to boot. So the mother-in-law and sisters-in-law took a dislike to her. She could only cry about it. So how would she know where the silver is? Besides, that whole tiger business was just village gossip anyway. No one saw it with their own eyes. The moment she heard him say he had no money, old Mrs. Yao narrowed her eyes.
Don't try to scare me. We'll know if it is there once we search the place. If I find it, you'd better watch your hide.
Search the house.
Hearing this, Ying Suniang dropped the act of playing nice and simply stood up.
What kind of rule is this? Who dares to try going in? See if I don't go to the yamen and demand justice.
She shot a cold glance at the old man and old lady seated above.
If I remember right, the national statutes have a provision like this. Unless it is an official raid, no one is allowed to barge into someone's room uninvited.
Mrs. Zhao spat at that.
Don't think, just because you've read a few books, you can pull the wool over my eyes so easily. Besides, every room in this courtyard is mine.
So what do you mean? Your room?
Shameless, aren't you? No dowry is one thing, but now you want to take over my house. Are you out of your mind?
At first, the old man agreed with his wife's suggestion. But after hearing Ying Sunyang's words, he began to hesitate. She is the daughter of a scholar, after all, and she is educated, so she surely knows more than these illiterate folks. She is quite worldly wise, the type who bosses around at home but wouldn't dare cause trouble outside. So the moment he heard the word officials, he got a bit scared. Afraid or not, he kept up a calm facade on the surface. After tapping the table with his pipe, he cleared his throat.
What is all this racket? Aren't you afraid of people overhearing and laughing at us? It is not right for the old lady to go rummaging through the room. After all, it is the young couple's private quarters. But this silver, third daughter-in-law, you still have to hand it over. Everything your third branch eats and uses comes from the family coffers. Yet, you rarely contribute any silver, and that goes against the family rules.
He spoke a few words with utmost seriousness, those cloudy eyes fixed steadily on Yin Suniang, waiting for her to respond. In the end, it is all about the money. Forget about all that right now. I have no idea where the money is. Even if I did know, I wouldn't hand it over to them anyway. Those leech-like disgusting creatures. Why should I give it to them? And they spend the family's money everywhere. Yao Xun hands over money once a month, and it is 1 tael of silver each time. By today's standards, that 1 tael is worth 10,000 yuan in modern times, not to mention covering a couple's monthly expenses. Even the whole family's, it is more than enough. And yet, they still think they can squeeze it out of me.
Father, I truly have no idea where Saboro's money is. If you want it, then when he returns, I'll let him know.
As soon as Yin Suniang finished speaking, everyone in the room drew in a sharp breath. The old master heard this and thought she was expressing dissatisfaction toward him. He was always extremely concerned about his dignity. In his view, at that moment, Yin Sunyang's actions were outright defying his authority. This was something he would not tolerate.
What do you mean by that? Do you think what I said is wrong?
I'm just speaking the truth.
She was the old master's eyes, showing no sign of backing down.
I said, I don't know where the money is. If you and the mother want it, I can only ask him.
Old man, look at this. Look. This little wench has grown bold wings, constantly talking back. I think she is trying to anger us to death, me and you. Just like how he drove his father to death back then.
Somehow, upon hearing the old lady's words, Yin Sunyang felt a sharp ache in her heart. Before she could even sort out her thoughts, she saw the old lady lunging to strike her, emboldened by her husband and son being right there. The old lady had no intention of holding back against Yin Sunyang at all. But the slap missed its mark. As Yin Sunyang swiftly dodged aside, she shot Yin Sunyang a furious glare, then kept on whining to him.
Old man. He is hell-bent on going against us. Since that is how it is, let's have the family law. Teach him a lesson. Otherwise, he wouldn't even know what rules means.
Yin Sunyang dodged the slap, but held back from striking back right away. She raised her head and fixed her gaze steadily on the old master.
Do you also believe our third house is secretly hoarding silver?
Third son's wife. That is what everyone's saying outside. It can't all be made up, can it? It is no longer just about deceiving the family anymore. You are unfilial and disrespectful. She cursed the eldest sister-in-law. She cursed her mother-in-law. If I had been more proper, your son would probably be dragged off to the ancestral hall by now.
Your words sound sweeter than any song. Apparently, I'm just kneeling here in the main hall, and he went easy on me.
At first, Yin Sunyang had hoped this old man might say something sensible. But now, she saw he only cared about the money. So she stood up with a cold sneer.
Who told you to stand up? Kneel down! Kneel down right now!
Seeing her rise, the old master flew into a rage, fuming while she stood her ground. She scanned every face in the main hall, then finally spoke.
The first and second houses hand over just 100 wen a month, while we in the third house must fork over a full tao every month. And this is your so-called fairness. Outsiders say my husband hunted down a tiger and cashed it in for silver. And you all schemed every which way to squeeze those 30 taels out of me. I said no, so you started beating me. I fought back in self-defense, and in the end, I'm the disrespectful and unfilial one. That is your so-called justice.
She shot the old master a cold glance.
If that is truly how it is, why would I want any part of your justice?
The old master slammed the table with a heavy thud, sending the 2 teacups on it, bouncing twice. The old lady saw at once, and rushed over in a panic to press them firmly down, lest they shatter. Yin Sunyang took in their frantic movements and telling glances, her heart turning utterly cold.
Insolent! You don't want me to speak, but I will say it anyway. In your eyes, our third house means even less than these 2 teacups. The last time I fell ill, I was so sick, I couldn't even get out of bed on the kang. Not one of you was willing to fetch me even a single dose of medicine.
The moment she recalled the memories lingering in the original host's mind, Yin Sunyang rolled her eyes in exasperation.
What do you mean we didn't get you medicine? Because of that ailment of yours. Our family forked over a good 7 or 8 taels of silver, and that was in chump change. Mind you.
Upon hearing this, the old lady immediately spat on the ground in disgust and pressed on.
Playing the pity card isn't done quite like this. Don't you go thinking that. With your few good looks, every man in this house is going to come fawning over you.
Though the eldest son may have a bit of a roguish mind, he's not one to turn against his own flesh and blood. But ever since this wretched woman stepped through the doors of the old Yao household, the eldest daughter-in-law has been harping on it time and again, claiming this wretched woman has been secretly seducing the eldest son. I figured it couldn't be true, but just now, the way she stared straight at the old master while speaking, isn't she the spitting image of a sly vixen? The more she dwelled on it, the angrier she got. So she whipped around and kept fanning the flames for her own husband.
Old master. This wretched little hussy doesn't remember a single kindness we've shown her. We can't let her off lightly, or folks outside will say our family's lost all sense of propriety, spawning something so utterly ungrateful.
The old master grunted in response, then turned a cold gaze on Yin Sunyang.
Third son's wife. Your mother-in-law's words may be harsh, but she is not wrong. Those 7 or 8 taels of silver, they were all spent on you, weren't they?
Yes, those 7 or 8 taels were indeed spent on me. But don't you forget, that silver was earned by my husband through his own toil. It didn't touch the family coffers, nor did it short the monthly tribute.
You shameless creature.
You've got the nerve to bring up that silver. It was precisely to pay for my treatment with that hard-earned silver that Yoshin went hunting up the mountain at nightfall, nearly breaking his leg in the fall. And yet in the end, they act like that silver was theirs to give. What an absolute farce.
What do you mean your third branch earned it? Your third branch is part of the Odiao family. Little May, if we divide the family, then that silver belongs to the family estate.
The old lady bellowed.
Divide the family. Fine. If that is how it is, then let's just split this family up for real. So some folks won't keep blurring the lines between you and me, always scheming to grab what is not theirs.
Yin Sunyang was fretting over how to shake off these blood-sucking leeches, when the old hag opened her mouth herself. Seeing it as the perfect chance, the masks were already off anyway, so why keep them around to torment her later if they didn't split the family? She wanted to divide the household, but not a soul in the room would agree.
Mother, you're still here with father, and the third brother's wife is just itching for a split.
That is her wishing ill on you elders.
Wenxie stayed silent for the longest time, but when she finally spoke, she fanned the flames to their peak. Just as expected, the moment those words left her mouth, forget the old lady. Even the old man turned beet red with rage.
Well, you wretched third daughter-in-law. I figured since you're the daughter of a scholar, being educated and all, I wouldn't stoop to roughing you up. But you go and curse me to my death. How am I supposed to swallow that? Eggs on, seconds on, fetch the sticks, and enforce the family law.
The instant she heard Wenxie's venomous words, Yin Sunyang wanted nothing more than to kick her flying.
What a vile creature! Kicking her when she was already down.
But the real disgust was yet to come. Yao Da and Yao Er, hearing the old man's command, didn't hesitate for a second, grabbing 2 rough shoulder poles on the spot, especially Yao Da. The way his eyes leered at her, not just ruthless malice, but something far more sinister. Just thinking of his usual sleazy ways, Yin Sunyang nearly retched that lecherous eldest brother-in-law, even coveting his own sister-in-law, a beast, unfit for the beating he is about to get.
Beat her to death for me, this lawless little wench. Today, I'll teach her the rules in place of her dead parents.
The old lady saw everything was ready. That is me dying to beat Yin Sunyang half to death, right on the spot. So she'll learn to obey from now on. Yao Daide, upon hearing this, immediately raised the carrying pole. Before it could even touch her, Yin Sunyang grabbed hold of it.
You dare.
Third sister-in-law, you'd better behave yourself, otherwise...
He narrowed his eyes and strode forward, one hand seemingly trying to yank the pole free, but really just wanting to grope Yin Sunyang's hand. Spotting his disgusting leer, Yin Sunyang flung the pole aside and shot him a venomous glare. Huashi watched her husband snatch the pole back with vicious fury, and immediately swung it at Yin Sunyang.
You shameless little vixen! You see a man and try to seduce him! I'll beat you to death! Whoever dares to strike! Whoever lays a hand, I'll kill them.
No one imagined he'd have the guts to do something like this. Especially the patriarch, his face etched with shock as he pointed at Jin Sunyang.
You really are!
Stammering incoherently like that, clearly seething with rage.
If you hadn't bullied us so mercilessly, I never would have struck back.
Jin Sunyang let out a cozy snort.
They claim I hit someone, but did they not hit me? Look for yourselves. This huge lump on my forehead from a mosquito bite, and this tangled mess of hair, did I do it to myself? And then, they're unscathed from head to toe. So where is their injury? Accusing me of seducing men, you must be delusional. The whole room's in disarray, and you still want to sling mud at me.
In your dreams.
Even if your mother hits you, it is for your own good.
The patriarch roared in fury.
For my own good.
Jin Su-nyang let out a scornful laugh.
That sounds so noble. If it were truly for my good, would you have driven our third branch to this? Go see for yourselves. Our third branch, so destitute. We don't even have an extra stool. The whole place reduced to just those 2 wobbly stools, a single can, and a battered table. Our clothes all patched and mended over and over. Every last coin handed over to you. And yet, you accuse us of pocketing it.
She pointed toward the third branch's quarters.
Open your eyes and look. Compared to the first and second branch's lavish homes, doesn't our third branch look worse than a rundown temple? Even a dilapidated temple has some straw to lie on, but we can't even scrape together a single mat. Is this what you call good?
What fairness.
What justice? It is nothing but empty words. In the past, the original owner was weak-tempered, so she was always bullied and taken advantage of. But that is not me.
I absolutely cannot swallow this insult.
Speak up. Got nothing more to say, eh?
Third son's wife. I can tell you've been nursing this grudge against us for ages.
The old man shifted abruptly from his earlier rage, speaking to Yin Su-nyang with pointed insinuation.
Since you've been stewing in discontent for so long, why didn't you speak up sooner? If you stayed silent, how were we supposed to know you felt so wronged? That said, just look at other families in these tough times across all these villages nearby, who gets to fill their belly every single day. Your ma and I never let you go hungry, did we? Never left you out in the cold, right? And yet, you're ungrateful, now turning around to gripe. Have you no shame?
Not hungry, not cold.
Yin Su-nyang, hearing this, could only find it laughably absurd.
1 meal a day, half a bowl of chaff and wild greens per meal. And you call that not starving? The elder and second branches get new clothes twice a year, while we're mending threadbare rags from 5 or 6 years back. That hardly ward off the chill. And that is your notion of not freezing.
We've fed you, given you drink, kept you from starving in the gutters. And still it is not enough for you, is it?
Mrs. Yao and the old man, seeing her fire back, only dug in deeper, their faces growing hot with unease. Yet they'd sooner die than admit they'd shortchanged the third branch. So Mrs. Yao snatched the carrying pole from Huaxi's grip and brandished it threateningly.
You'd best know your place. And fork over those 30 taels of silver. Hand over the 30 taels, and I'll drop this whole mess without holding it against you much. I'll just make you cut pig grass for a few months. Gather firewood for another stretch. But if you don't wise up and keep yapping back at me like this,
Be careful with your hide. Or else.
Just for the sake of those 30 taels of silver. Why should the whole family put up with a vixen like you making such a fuss for so long? If you'd handed it over right away, that would have been the end of it, right?
Huaxi was itching for it too, eager to see Jin Su-nyang get her due punishment right now. Of course, but it would be even better if she forked over those 30 taels before the beating. Jin Su-nyang let out a cold laugh, too fed up to even respond, just eyeing the old hag warily, in case she lunged at her out of nowhere and caught her off guard. The old lady didn't let her down. Sure enough, the moment Huaxi's words trailed off, she swung the shoulder pole and came at her swinging. Alright, for a moment, she felt no pain at all. As soon as she opened her eyes, she saw Yao Xun gripping the carrying pole in his hand. Seeing this jinx had ruined her good deed, the old lady was livid.
get out of the way. Today, if I don't beat him to death, I'll be damned.
Beat him to death. Let's see who dares stop me.
Yao Xun snatched the carrying pole from her, tossing it to the ground, then declared,
From this day forward, our third branch is no longer part of that old hag's clan.
What did you just say?
Upon hearing this, the old master grabbed a teacup and smashed it on the floor.
You insolent fool! You couldn't even keep your wife in line. Letting her turn the house into utter chaos is bad enough, but now you're demanding a family split! Do you think your father's dead or just that worthless?
Yao Xun glanced at the shattered teacup, then pulled Yin Su-nyang behind him, shielding her as he shot back.
What has she done wrong?
Seeing him still shielding her, the old master flew into an even greater rage.
Just to look at her now. Does she resemble a proper daughter-in-law at all? Back-talking the elders is one thing, but laying hands on your mother and sister-in-law, is that any way to behave?
Having one son beyond his control was nightmare enough. And now, this rebellious daughter-in-law on top of it. The third branch would truly break free from their grip for good. Looking at his self-righteous father, Yao Xun couldn't help sneering.
I'm demanding a family division, not asking for your input, but letting you know. Whether you like it or not, we can always take it to the village head and clan elders.
But a family division is absolutely out of the question. Even just for this Jinx's knack for raking in money, the old man wouldn't stand for it. He lunged forward and slapped Yao Xun hard across the face.
I'm still kicking! And you're already plotting to split the family. From this day forward, anyone who so much as utters the words family division, I'll snap their legs like twigs. Hello, yeah, cut it out! Or the neighbors will have us for a laugh. Put it all away now.
The old lady was still a bit scared of her husband, and seeing he'd actually struck someone, she didn't dare hesitate, dropping the shoulder pole from her hands at once. Seeing everyone had settled down, the old man pressed on.
Money matters. Stay the same hand. It over like always. And anyone with gripes can come hash it out with me. Third son, your one tael of silver doesn't change. Eldest and the second son's families, you lot better not get a pity. If I catch wind of it, you'll see how I bring down the family rules.
Listening to his pompous bluster, Yin Sunyang rolled her eyes.
Family rules, ha! If this family actually had any real family rules, would it be such a damn mess from top to bottom?
She endured the anger in her heart. She gazed at Yao Xun's tall back and made up her mind. He protected me, so I can't let him suffer any injustice. She strode right up to him, stood on tiptoe, and gently touched his face.
Does it hurt?
Me.
This slap will be the last one to repay their kindness for raising us all these years. After confirming he was all right, Yin Sunyang stood shoulder to shoulder with him. She glared coldly at the old master.
No splitting the family.
Fine. Then everyone pays the same amount. The eldest and the second branches pay 100 wen each, and we all pay 100 wen too. And don't feed me that line about filial piety. Paying 100 wen is filial, but making us pay one tael of silver makes us unfilial. Where is the justice in that?
Seeing her like this, old lady Yao, fuming with rage, charged right at her and tried to slap her across the face.
You little wretch. I knew you were nothing but trouble. Always stirring up the third son against me. Let me tell you, as long as I'm alive, you can forget about running this house. You pay this silver whether you like it or not, willing or not.
Seeing her about to strike again, Yin Sunyang grabbed the old lady's clothes and shoved her, making her stumble.
Don't think your age gives you the right to hit people. If you lay a hand on me, I'll hit you right back.
Seeing them all staring at her like they'd seen a ghost, Yin Sunyang pressed on.
Anyway, you've never treated our third branch as family. So today, I'll make things crystal clear. No splitting the family, huh? Fine. Return the extra silver the third house overpaid to me. From now on, we all pay 100 wen too. That is impossible. Then we'll divide the household. No two ways about it.
The moment she heard the previous money had to be returned, old Mrs. Yao, whose heart and eyes hold only silver and her grandsons, how could she possibly agree? Her eyes darted slyly, and she declared,
So you want to split the family, eh? Fine. Your third branch leaves empty-handed. Not a single copper coin to your name. And that is not all. Besides forking over those 30 taels of silver, you must hand over 2 taels to us every month, or I won't budge an inch.
2 taels a month?
My heavens.
You old hag must be stark raving mad.
If you can cough it up, then I'll greenlight the family split. But if you can't, keep right on dreaming.
Still got the nerve to hit back.
I'll strip this little wench bare of every last gold trinket.
At those words, Sunyang turned to Yao Xun.
What say you to the split?
gazing at his tousled hair, the nasty lump swelling on his forehead. Yao Kun wasted no time in responding. The instant he heard the demand for a split, the old master's eyes popped wide open.
You ungrateful wretch! You're tossing your ancestors to the wind, aren't you?
Seeing him erupt in fury, Yao Shun pressed on.
Su Nyang hit the nail on the head. You've never once treated me like your own flesh and blood. Am I wrong?
What utter drivel! If I hadn't seen you as my own son, you'd have been 6 feet under years ago.
But there was a tale to that back then, wasn't there?
Yin Sunyang glanced curiously at Yao Xun, eager to uncover exactly what had happened back then. But upon catching sight of his face, grim as if water might drip from it, she turned her eyes toward the entire family.
No more words for this. We brought you into this world and raised you all these years, and now you come to me demanding a family division. How can you face the Yao ancestors? Or me and your mother?
Seeing him fall silent, the patriarch only grew more agitated with every word.
Your mother wants to manage your silver, and that is hardly a bad thing. Must you kick up such a fuss over it?
A good thing, is it? Yin Sunyang could scarcely bear to listen any longer.
What good thing?
All the money's being handed over to you lot, yet our third branch can barely fill our bellies. And that is supposed to be a good thing.
Seeing how Yao Xun was shielded at every turn, Huashi had long been consumed by jealousy. Now, with a chance to trample Yin Sunyang underfoot, she wasn't about to let it slip away.
Third, sister-in-law, what you're saying is downright offensive. What do you mean our third branch can't eat our fill? Third brother polishes off 2 bowls of porridge every meal. And that is not even proper grain. As for you, you can't even handle the housework. Yet you never go short at mealtimes, do you? Handing over a little extra is the least you could do. Why nitpick over every coin?
Hearing Huashi's barbs, and watching her face twist as if she'd rather drop dead on the spot, Yin Sunyang found the whole thing utterly laughable. He stepped forward and grabbed Huashi's hand tightly, questioning her sharply.
You think I care about you saying that? Or fear the wind choking me back? I've been married into your Yao family all these years, and not once have I gotten a scrap of meat from your hands. Day in and day out, the kitchen's kept locked up, for fear us third branch folks might sneak in, only letting me in when there is work to be done. And even then, you station someone to watch me, as if I'd steal a bite.
The more Yin Sunyang spoke, the more her anger flared.
With this biting spring chill still lingering, you've got braziers warming your rooms, while we haven't got a single one. Just to slip into the woodshed for a couple of sticks of firewood, and I got an earful of scolding.
At first, he hadn't meant to get worked up over these women who had nothing to do with him. But this was just too infuriating to ignore. In the original host's memories, the third branch could hardly afford chaff and wild greens, yet their family feasted on meat several times a month. The wild game Yao Xun brought back, the money he earned, all stripped away by this old hag. Is this the treatment a flesh and blood son deserves?
Don't spout your nonsense here. You haven't starved to death, have you? If I hadn't raised her up, she'd have let you marry over. And you'd be whoring in some brothel by now, for all you'd know.
Old Mrs. Yao let loose a tirade.
Hurry!
Yin Sunyang was momentarily at a loss for words, but old Mrs. Yao had already spat on the ground, glaring at Yin Sunyang. With utter contempt, Huashi yanked her hand, free from Yin Sunyang's grip, then pinched her waist viciously out of habit.
Third sister-in-law, mother's words ring true, every single one. If it weren't for our family, you'd still be out there begging, not knowing where your next meal's coming from. Now that you're one of the Yao family, don't go making trouble. It is wiser to keep things quiet and proper.
He hadn't even finished his sentence when Yao Xun's sudden move startled him.
Hey, third brother! Have you lost your mind?
Seeing Yao Xun stride right up to her, with a glare like he wanted to devour her whole, Huashi was so terrified she could hardly string words together.
While I've been away from home, this is how you've been bullying him, isn't it?
Yao Xun fixed his gaze on Huashi without blinking.
Those bruises on his body, they're all from your pinching, aren't they?
What are you rambling on about? When did I ever pinch him?
Huashi looked flustered.
When did you pinch him?
That little move he just made, I saw it clear as day. Yao Xun wouldn't fly off the handle without cause.
When did she pinch him? Deep down, you all know exactly when it happened. Back then, he kept quiet about your wrongs, so I turned a blind eye. But today, With things boiling over like this, splitting the family just feels pointless now.
He pulled Poppy Mother protectively behind him.
那他伸出护哈, huh? Then we'll take nothing at all. And leave right now. One more thing. From this day forward, if anyone dares bully him again,
I won't show a shred of mercy.
He wants to leave, so the old master lost his temper. But the old lady held him back, giving him a knowing glance. Fine. If you're leaving without a penny, leave without a penny. That is just perfect. We'll get 2 taels of silver every month. Isn't that better than things are now? Seeing his wife mulling it over like this, the old master figured it wasn't such a bad deal either. He cleared his throat with feigned gravity and said,
Since you've made up your minds to divide the family, then we'll do it just as your mother proposed. From now on, even though you won't be living in the ancestral home, raising you wasn't easy for us. So those 2 taels of silver each month, along with the filial piety offerings at holidays. You can't skimp on them.
All right, but words are cheap. We'll sign an agreement first,
said Jin Suma.
What agreement? This is family business, our family's affairs. It is not for a meddlesome woman like you to interfere.
The old master shot him a fierce glare, then turned back to Yao Xun.
Third, son, this path is one you chose yourself, so don't blame your father for being ruthless. You 3 brothers, I've treated each of you with perfect fairness. It is you, for the sake of this woman, who is throwing away the ancestral home. Keep that in mind.
For her sake? Zhao Xun found the words almost laughable. Why on earth did he marry her back then? Don't they have any sense of that? But then she remembered how he'd just spoken up for her, and that she was now his wife. She decided there was no point in piling on with that girl, spewing all that heartless nonsense.
Grab the clothes. Let's go.
After packing up all the clothes, Jin Sonyang followed Yao Xun out of the Yao family home. Seeing them head up the mountain, she raised an eyebrow.
Heading up the mountain this late hour. We off to feed the tigers.
Hearing his wife's quip, most of Yao Xun's gloom melted away.
Of course, it is not to the mountain. It is just that it is already dark now, so we need to find a place to settle for the night. There is a rundown courtyard at the foot of the back hill. Though it is run down, if we make do, we can stay there for a few days.
Once they left the courtyard, no one's living here.
It was left behind by a former bailiff. He passed away, and the courtyard became the village's. Now that we're flat broke, we can only make do for a few days.
Once they arrived, she realized just how run-down the place her husband had called dilapidated really was. The door was broken. The roof had several large holes, and half the wall of the side room had collapsed. This wasn't just a run-down courtyard. This was a downright hazardous ruin.
No worries. Tomorrow, I'll patch up the roof, and it'll be livable. The Kang is intact, and the kitchen stuff is mostly intact. We can make it work.
Seeing her standing there, mouth agape and speechless for a moment, Yao Xun chuckled again.
Dear husband, you tidy up the king first. I'll go out and forage for some wild greens and fetch some water.
Things are tough enough as it is. It can't get much worse than this.
Wife, hold on. I'll come with you.
A quarter of an hour later, under the crumbling outer wall of this rundown yard, Yi Sunyang gazed delightedly at the wild greens clutched in her hand. Seeing her so overjoyed, Xiao Xun was a bit puzzled.
Wife, what has got you grinning like that?
This is prime stuff. So this toast's great for your health. Oh my, there is a whole patch of it right outside the yard. And purslane too. We should give that a go.
That is all the rage, my dear wife.
So thistle's totally edible. But this pile here.
Yao Xun eyed the heap of purslane he'd yanked up earlier, finding it hard to bring up.
What is the matter?
This is just pigweed. We don't even have a pig right now, so it is no use to us.
Yi Sunyang burst into unstoppable laughter at that.
Pigs can eat it. So why can't we? Don't you worry, dear husband. Once we've got the cash for flour, I'll whip up some flatbreads with this for you. Oh, and a cold salad with it. Pairs perfectly with rice.
Hearing her say that, Yao Xun felt every trace of his earlier annoyance melt away. The folks back at the old homestead had never been kind to him, but his wife was always thinking of ways to make things better for him.
Rest assured, I'll work extra hard to earn enough for fine white flour, just for you.
Little did he know his wife had a new soul inside her, or that she was simply salivating at the sight of those wild greens, craving nothing more than a taste of those two. After the two had picked some wild vegetables, they brought out the things from the kitchen. After tidying up, they washed the wild vegetables, and were just about to blanch the wild vegetables in the pot when they heard some noise outside. Ying Sunia nudged Yao Xun's hand.
Go take a look. See if someone's here.
Cheng's wife, you stay inside the house.
Yao Xun had just stepped out of the kitchen when he saw Yao Da furtively peering around the courtyard. As soon as he saw Yao Xun, he immediately broke into a smile.
Well, you really are here. Third brother, I knew you'd end up here. And I figured you two would be struggling tonight. So, I brought you some food.
He pulled some eggs from his sleeve and headed toward the kitchen. He knew exactly what kind of man his big brother was. Yao Xun knew it all too well. The thought of his brother harboring intentions toward his young wife made him narrow his eyes.
No need. Take them back.
Seeing him block his path, Yao Da didn't get angry, but just chuckled slyly.
Oh, hey, third brother, you're a big, tough guy. So going hungry yourself is one thing. But your delicate little wife, how can she live in this rundown shack with you and go hungry too? These 2 eggs aren't worth much, but at least they can pad the stomach a bit, right?
Yao Xun's face darkened at once upon hearing this.
This egg belongs to Daba, right? You take it back. We don't want it.
It is just that we've already split the family. From now on, the old house stays the old house, and we're us. We don't want any of your stuff.
Hearing the commotion, Mother stepped out and laid down the boundaries right away. This guy's just trying to exploit their tough spot, parading as a helper while angling for his own gain. May his scheming heart go blind. Yao Da wanted to slip into the kitchen just to catch a glimpse of her, and now that she'd emerged, Yao Da felt himself floating on air.
Third sister-in-law! No need to stand on ceremony. Even though we've split the family. We're all Yao family break a bone, and the tendons still hold us together.
All his empty flattery, Jin Sunyang wouldn't hear a single word of it.
Get out of here quick before you stir up more trouble.
Third sister-in-law, you're scared of my wife, aren't you?
Yao Da figured he still had some charm left, and this third sister-in-law of his was just an innocent little beauty, clueless about romance. So she must fancy him a bit too. And the way she said that now, she was clearly fretting about getting caught by the tigress back home.
No need to worry. Your sister-in-law is just a frumpy old hag. Sure, she has got a bit of a temper, but in front of me, she can't kick up a fuss.
Qiao Shan and his wife, seeing him like this, were itching to grab a broom and chase him right out. But none of them had dared to yet. Hua Shi had already burst in from outside, grabbing Yao Da by the ear.
Wow! You ungrateful, disgusting creep! You won't even hold on to what I give you out of fear. And yet, you go handing Daba's gold over to this little vixen. I knew you were up to something sneaky. Turns out it was all to curry favor with her. And you shameless little slut! How dare you seduce my man when all 3 isn't even dead yet? And you're already bouncing around like this. Just you wait. Tomorrow, I'll go straight to the village head and to see if he doesn't have you dunked in a pig cage.
In this day and age, a woman who doesn't keep to her wifely virtues, that is a grave offense. Even if it means getting thrown into a pig cage, no one will pity her. Hua Shi slinging mud at her like this. Jin Sunyang, upon hearing it, had her eyes turn red with rage.
You flap your gums and out. Comes a load of shit about me seducing your man. As if I've never laid eyes on a man before, or something. Don't you know damn well what is what? If it weren't for you seducing my Yao Da, would he really go funny over you? Bringing even Dabao's little gold trinkets.
Hua Shi, having said that, twisted her own man's ear once more, then let loose another tirade.
You little slut! Let me tell you, you'd better stay put and behave yourself. Or if you go acting all slutty everywhere again, I'll see to it you get drenched head to toe in a bucket of night soil. And to see if you're still so smug, then.
Yushu, what the hell are you babbling on about? This is my sister-in-law. What do you mean calling her a little slut? Can't you watch your mouth?
Seeing Yin Suniang bullied so badly by his own wife, Yao Da felt heartbroken right then and there. Unfortunately, Jin Suniang and Yao Xuan weren't having any of it. Especially Yao Xun. He'd heard Hua Xi calling her a little slut over and over, and his anger had been building like a raging fire inside him. Now, seeing Yao Da approaching again, he kicked a stone from under his foot right into Yao Da's path. It was overcast, and the sky had already darkened. Yao Da had eyes only for Yin Suniang at that moment, so how could he spare a thought for watching his step? Sure enough, after stumbling over that stone, he tripped and face-planted right into the dirt.
Well, that is just what they say. Damn this pitch black gloom.
I nearly broke my neck falling.
After letting off that curse, he suddenly realized, a bit too late, he wasn't the only one there. So he flashed a smile at Yin Suniang.
Ouch, little sister-in-law. I didn't give you a fright, did I?
Well, Yao Da, I see this little vixen has got you all bewitched and senseless. You've got no sense left in you, so I figured I'd just trip you up. Even the family heirlooms got unnoticed. How am I supposed to live like this anymore?
Hua Xi saw he'd taken a tumble himself, yet he was still worried about startling the poppy girl. Her heart was churning with resentment like a stormy sea, especially Yao Da, with that timid, fawning look on his face, something she'd never seen from him since the day they married. With those words, Yao Da froze in his tracks, then turned around, frowning as he glared at his wife. You nagging woman.
What are you fussing about now? Making such a scene over just one egg? Have I ever skimped on eggs for you in all our days together? Or is that it? If you don't want this life anymore, then pack up and go back to your parents.
Pardon, you Yao Da. I've been your wife for all these years, and I bore the eldest grandson for your Yao family. Slaving away like an ox or horse to serve you all these years, and now you're kicking me out for that little vixen.